All right. Okay, here we go. So this chapter is going to kick off on adhesives, and as we just looked, that adhesive is a component of those 37.5% of those questions. So over one third of the state board is going to be related to adhesive products, implements, things of that nature. More importantly, why I wanted to review this is because we have to remember one of the biggest reasons for the licensure is to make sure we're not only doing the technique correctly, we're holding safe with our clients, we're using the right products, but I want you also to know the difference between the products that you're supposed to be using. So this is going to make Lash Specialty very unique, and it starts to set you aside from those who are unlicensed. Okay. So as we look at adhesives, I have highlighted some key components in those areas, and I'm recording this so I can be able to drop it into the group and then also share, and you'll be able to go back to it as well. So it says, looking at adhesives, the objective here is describe eyelash adhesive ingredients and how to properly use and store them. All right. And so we think that, in the past, it has been okay to use one type of adhesive for all types of lash preparation. All right. And as we are adopting the lash specialty and being more aware of some of the issues and just the different trends that are coming about in today's time, we have to understand that there are different adhesives with different strengths, different ingredients that are suitable for each lash type. All right, so I almost fall into lash categories. And so as we look at the ingredients of that adhesives and how to properly use and store them, that's going to be key to our professionalism and to maintaining consistency with our clientele. All right. And knowing when to use certain adhesives and when not to use certain adhesives. And when I'm using a technical term adhesive, some people would call it lash glue, but it's a lash adhesive. Okay. And adhesive is just another name for glue, but it is more proper professional term. All right. Eyelash adhesive. And it says eyelash adhesive is used to make artificial eyelashes stick to the natural lash line or the natural lash, depending on which type of artificial lashes are being applied. Here is the absolute key of everything that you're here for. The eyelashes should stick to the natural lash line or natural lash. We are not putting the lash line skin on top of skin. All right. It's just absolutely, that's so improper. We are not doing it. So the objective, and we have clusters and more synthetic clusters that you find in beauty supply stores, more so a lower grade, inexpensive type of lash. You're going to follow that lash line. And then when you have lash extensions, which is going to be your specialty, you're going to place the lash extension on top of the natural or adjacent to the natural lash. All right. Just having that understanding. Then it says understanding how adhesives work ensures not only lash retention, but also client safety. Lash retention, you're going to ensure that that lash is going to stay the length that it's supposed to stay. If it's supposed to be 2 to 4 weeks, if it's supposed to only be temporary for the night, a couple of hours, the adhesive is going to tell you how long this lash style is going to be with this client. All right. And so we want to always remember the word retention, lash retention, 2 words, lash retention. That is the consistency of the lash staying, the artificial lash staying with the natural lash. Just how long my lashes are going to last. That's lash retention. But also client safety. So there are certain adhesives that you do not want to use, of course, around the eyes. We are not using super glue. I've heard that's been used before. We're not using super glue. We are not using bonding glue for extensions. Those are things we do not use. Okay. Even though bonding glue has this latex, this similar buildup, chemical buildup of some of the other adhesives, that latex could cover those cuticles, oil, sweat, and dirt buildup. You just got a haven for bacteria and pain and just a whole lot of stuff that can be created. And you have a lot of individuals that are allergic to latex. And so that is something that, yeah, they may wear that where it's attached to their scalp, but it is not, or scalp or hair in the hairstyle, but it is not something that you can use to the closest organ. Is going to be your skin and eyes. It's not something you're supposed to be using. Even though it may, many people may say, oh, it's an adhesive. That's not one that's used in our profession. Okay, so we shun a sideways eye with people who use that bonding glue adhesive, because we know on down the road or immediately it could cause unwanted reactions. All right. So as we begin to look at eyelash extension adhesive, we'll start to look at certain adhesives and look at the ingredients, when to use them, when not to use them. Really, a lot of times it is one base ingredient that's different. And just like we have skincare products for different skin types, you'll also have different eyelash extension adhesives for different sensitivities or different wear, long length of time as far as wear that you want to do on your clients. It says eyelash extensions are applied to the natural lash using eyelash extension adhesive, which means the extension has to have what it's supposed to have. The eyelash extension is only attached to the natural lash with eyelash extension adhesive. All right. So I highlighted that. It says the typical shelf life of adhesive is 4 to 5 weeks. That's the shelf life. Okay. So once you open it and you know you're going to be using it, most of the time, if you're working a lot, you're going to run out of that adhesive. And then right around this time, you're going to start building, purchasing again. So it's very, very crucial that once you choose your adhesive and you start to use it, making sure we shake it up, mixing all the ingredients. But also when we're finished using it, we put the top on securely. Okay. Any of that air, that atmosphere air, can go and start to dry the product up, and then you're left behind with nothing to use because the product has been evaporated into the air. And so being very careful on what to choose. I know there's a lot of sites, there's a lot of people that sell adhesive. um, So when you have a lot of people selling adhesive, you at least need to know some of the key ingredients and making sure you're getting the best ones for it for every client. There are going to be clients that are not going to use the same adhesive. Okay. So just be prepared to maybe have 2 or 3 different types of adhesive. And of course, the more sensitivities that a person has, you can't really guarantee consistency. You can't guarantee the retention that the next person may have, because that person will not have those types of sensitivities. So they can use maybe a stronger adhesive. Welcome to the Stay Board Prep tonight. We're going over um, products and implements, and this is a section that is definitely on the theory Stay Board Prep, and so we're just taking just a look back through to see what we can the parts that we may have missed, or just let it become refreshing to you. We are going to prep for State Board on tomorrow. So if you're not able to come in, I can send you that State Board study guide and you can be right along with us. Okay. Um, and that's for the individuals that can't come into the building. We'll always have it available, send it over to you. So the shelf life of eyelash extension is going to be 4 to 5 weeks. It says once it's open, it's good until it starts looking stringy or cloudy. When you see that, that's when you know, okay, it's time for me to get some new adhesive. You got to stay on top of your products. You got to stay on top of your implements. Those are the things that are going to use that you use day to day. That's going to make you money. So you got to make sure you do inventory and you got that in stock. Because if you don't have it in stock, it kind of halts your services that you offer to your clients. Okay. It says a good practice to make sure your glue lasts is to clean the bottom tip with a lint-free wipe. Here's the thing: you can go to beauty supply stores, Sally's, or anybody that specializes in just the supplies for aesthetics, and they have these 2x2s, little small gauze wipes. You can find them probably in Walgreens. You can probably find them at Target, but they must say lint-free, which means they're not going to have a cotton adhesive. So when you have that, they're not going to have cotton. Cotton is attracted to that adhesive. So when you try to wipe it, that adhesive grabs a hold to that cotton, and now you have like a whole little mess. And so don't want to use a full cotton. You want to use um, something that says lint free, and it is going to be a different material. Okay, so it's going to be easy to wipe without leaving residue behind. Always be sure to check the manufacturer's recommendations on how to clean it and how to store um, that adhesive. And so adhesive costs anywhere, which I've seen it cost $5 to $80. Okay, no matter what you pay for it, you want to make sure you get all that you're supposed to get out of it. Okay, and it says it's important to shake. I just talked about just shaking the adhesive, making sure that you're mixing the ingredients well when you shake them. And even from there, making sure you may set for a while before using them, just to make sure when you open the top, it doesn't spill out. Okay. And then when we look at eyelash adhesive, we have some of the technical terms, technical ingredients. One of the key main ingredient in eyelash adhesive is going to be cyanoacrylate. Cyanoacrylate is the main component of eyelash extension adhesive. It is an acrylate monomer, which reminds you of what is used with nail tips. Okay, that acrylic liquid base, powdered liquid base that is used with nail tips. And so that is cured and used as an adhesive. And so now we're talking about curing. So think about it when you're at the nail salon and your hand goes under that light, that is curing that product. And so the same thing kind of happens with the lash adhesive. It can go into a drying and curing process. And so we'll talk about the difference between drying and the process between curing. Once it cures, it does last longer. All right. So this is also where they say they give you those directions at the end, like, hey, don't use any water for 24 hours. Don't brush your brows. Don't brush this. Don't do that for your lashes. So that's some great information to make sure you pass on to your clients, because them allowing their lashes, that adhesive, to really set there and to cure, it is causing longer wear, longer retention for that service. So always making sure you educate your clients that, hey, even though it looks like it's attached one hair to one hair with this adhesive, you got to let the ingredients do the work. Okay, so it does need to sit, it does need to cure for a little while. It says although there are several types of cyanoacrylates, only some are used for eyelash extension adhesives. Some of them are used for many other things. So, right, that's where we get the regular lash glue for clusters. That's where we get nail glue. And so there's a lot of different types of adhesive, but there's only one main one that we like to use for our main one for lash extension adhesive. Okay. Add the menthol to it. It's considered industrial grade and should never be used for eyelash extension. This is going to be your glue that you use for crafts. Okay. This is also your super glue. It can create blindness, and we use this a lot for crafts. So it's going to be in what we call industrial grade. So no, you're never using super glue on your hair, skin, and nails. All right. Add the ethyl to it, considered medical grade, and it's used for most for eyelash extension adhesive because it's strong and adhesive. It also blends in really, really well. So when you're attaching one hair to your one extension to your natural lash, you will have a seamless connection. All right. Very smooth connection. You run your hands across it, you won't be able to feel any balls or feel a separation. They will come together very smoothly. So this is one of those key ingredients that you will look for in your eyelash adhesive, and you will know that it is a medical grade. And medical grade is considered a higher premium grade of adhesive. All right. Add butyl to it, butyl, and it's considered medical grade. It's used for sensitive eyelash extension adhesives, although it has a longer drying time. Okay. And the adhesive is not as strong as ethanol. It is considered low odor. So here we go. For the one that is set in green, ethyl, look, medical grade, it's gonna start attaching itself. It's not gonna have it's gonna not gonna have hardly any wait time. Okay. It is gonna be a strong adhesive, and it's gonna bind together really well. On the opposite, um, here's the thing with ethanol too. It may have a sensitivity to your eyes. Okay. It may have a sensitivity. Something that's strong may also have a sensitivity to the eyes. And whereas you have the buckthall that's in the pink, it's considered medical grade, still the same thing, but it's for those individuals who are sensitive. Okay. It is for sensitive, those individuals that are, they easily break out. They have different reactions to the adhesive, redness, sometimes have allergic reactions to the other ingredients. And so it is going to have a lower odor. It's going to be a longer drying time and feels faster with using this particular adhesive. All right. And so it's probably not going to have as long as retention as the one that we look at in the green. Okay. Methoxy in the purple, considered medical grade, but should not be used for eyelash extension adhesive because although it has the least odor, the adhesive quality is too low for good lash retention. So you may see this in some of the cheaper brands, where they say, "Oh, you got levels to adhesive." Never get the methoxy. Okay. So even though yes, it has medical grade, it's like for minor. It's not gonna hold those lashes on that natural lash long. So yes, your clients are gonna complain that the lashes are falling out that they just paid top tier for. All right. And they just wash their face 3-4 days later and their lashes are falling out. So you may want to consider what type of adhesive am I actually using. Okay. And so the green and the pink are going to be your main two ingredients that you're going to look for in your adhesive. And I believe you need to have both. You need to have both because you're going to have clients that have some sensitivities. And when clients have sensitivities, you need to still be able to not let anything stop, but just change your adhesive. Everybody is not going to have the same adhesive. So even when it comes to adhesive, it said be prepared for emergency eye flush. So you want to have your water there. You want to have your eye wash station. Until you test it on the client, you really don't know what they're allergic to. So there's something called a patch test. And so you can put a little bit of that adhesive um, behind the ear, fold of the elbow, or the back of the knee. Okay. If a person you sees itchy redness and they're just irritated, you cannot use that adhesive on them. You got to use something else. It's too strong. It causes too much. It's an irritant. And so you would need to, at that point, know that you would need to use a different adhesive. When you do that test, you mainly do that test on individuals who are first time coming. And you want to do that test maybe the day before that actual service. So you want them to go home and you want them to experience it on and not want them, tell them don't touch it, don't mess with it. But if it starts irritating, this is what you do. If you feel it getting red, you feel it swelling, getting hives or something, we cannot use that adhesive on the client's skin or anywhere near because the client is probably saying there is allergic to it. We look at some other ingredients that's found in the adhesive, and this is where we start to get those annoying smells and things of that nature. Okay. You of course have to make your best choices. Formaldehyde is taken out of a lot of products just because of it's scared to cause cancer in certain areas. Don't quote me because we've had to remove it from the Tennessee packing kits from about 10, 20 years ago. It was one of those things that we had to have in our kits when we go to state board in the little powdered or cube components. But formaldehyde is a colorless gas with a strong odor. Okay. It's a byproduct. So some people will say they don't use cyanoacrylates, but if they're not using cyanoacrylates, they're using some makeup of it. And the alternative would be where formaldehyde is a byproduct of cyanoacrylates. And so even if they're saying they're not using it, they have a component of it, and that component it will be formaldehyde. And the key says it's fumes. That should tell us right there. Fumes will be given off by the lash adhesive containing sound alkylates, even if it's in trace amounts, small amounts. All right. So this is a strong adhesive. And so 9 times out of 10, your client's eyes are going to be very sensitized, which means they're going to be red. They may start, it may cause wetness in the eyes, in the tear ducts and things like that. And so you don't want to have to pause your services because you got to cool the client eyes off and you got to keep drying. They're probably that adhesive is probably going to be too strong for them. Okay. And then one thing I hate to see, and I'm going to be very transparent with you, is when people do the lashes and you can tell they use a very strong adhesive because when they start to take the pictures, the client's eyes are so pink and red because it's coming from the fumes from this particular adhesive. That adhesive is too strong. PMMA is a thickening agent. It's a synthetic resin. Okay. It's in the menthol category. It assists in the adhesion of the extension to the natural lash. You can look for clean quality lash adhesives that has no PMMA, but those adhesive, what we call vegan adhesive products that have it has no chemicals, try to have no chemicals or less amount of them, but you don't get a lot of retention. Okay. You don't get a lot of retention. That means that you'll be doing fill-ins sooner than later. All right. Um, hydroquinone used as a stabilizing agent. Okay, keeps the cyanalkylate from curing in the bottle by stopping the polarization process. The polarization process is the hardening process. Okay, so this ingredient is good because it keeps the it keeps it liquid in the bottle. Once it's out of the bottle and then oxygen hits it, then it starts to harden. All right. And so this particular ingredient is good to have in there because it keeps your product what it is in a liquid form. All right. Although it makes up a very small percentage of adhesive, it can cause skin irritation and skin discoloration. So a little bit goes a long way. So just be aware of this ingredient usually going to be in your lash adhesives, okay? So have that fan ready, your drops, things of that nature. Carbon black is a powder used as a pigment and it's a coloring agent. This is what gives us the black, the dark lash adhesive. So instead of it being clear, they would add carbon black to it, which is a pigment, okay? And it's covered under Food and Drug Administration has found that this ingredient should not be used in the eye area, but we still be putting it on there. Okay. However, it's still used in many cosmetics such as mascaras and eyeliner. Y'all, this is where a lot of times they're getting the black color from. You have some people that use kohl, KOHL. That was some of the that's darkening. Some people use the activated charcoal. All of it has a sensitivity to the eyes, the skin. All right. And so just be very careful of carbon black of using the darker adhesives because it has a warning that it is it's too strong. It can cause discoloration of the skin. It has been linked to increased incidence of cancer and negative effects on the body organs. And there are clear eyelash adhesives that do not contain carbon black as an alternative for clients with sensitivities or those who do not wish to be exposed to it. So the clear adhesive seems to be still one of the best kinds. And those adhesives, even though it may contain a little bit of carbon black, it still has instance been linked to increased incidence of cancer and negative effects on the body organs. Now, we love lashes and we want lashes, want to serve our clients, but I don't want to harm our clients, okay? All right, just allergic reaction to the key ingredients in the adhesive can be difficult to distinguish from just general irritation. All right. But when a client is already, once you start putting it on and telling you they're feeling irritated, that they're having breathing issues, things of that nature, itching, you can say, oh, they just have allergic reaction, but pretty much it may be the adhesive. All right. So try switching up the adhesives. Drying versus curing. Okay. The adhesive must be dried and cured in order to give you that great retention. In the blue, it said drying occurs quickly when the ingredients toward the outside of the lash adhesive evaporate into the air. That's drying. Okay. The ingredients on the outside of the adhesives evaporates in the air. As an adhesive hardens, okay, this allows the technician to continue lashing without lashes clumping or sticking together. So as you put the lash on, it should be starting its hardening process, and you're able to go to the next. Okay, you're able to go to the next. To allow for maximum dry time between lashes, it's recommended to work on the eyes alternately and to apply eyelashes to different parts of the lash line. The mini fan is a great way to assist in the drying time. So most people have a minimum of 3 lash lines. So you can go from lash line 1, 2, 3, from the top down to the bottom, or work a little bit on the right eye, go over to the left eye, just to give it time to just be still and to start curing, to dry and to start curing. And when it comes to curing occurs when the adhesive completely dries in the center by taking in the moisture in the air. All right. So on the outside, you have the drying, and then you work slowly into the curing. So the curing goes into down the center is gonna get dry. It's gonna start to stick, and that's when you know you have that retention of that lash extension onto that natural lash. We talked a little bit about polymerization, and that can be like the hardening process. And when you think about polymers, think about also acrylic nails, porcelain teeth. You have one thing, and when you mix something else with it, it starts to rapidly go fast. Have you ever heard of a word called catalyst? Catalyst is like an accelerator, all right? So you can have an adhesive, and as soon as you put it on, it starts to accelerate. It builds a catalyst. When people go in to get their teeth repaired, they can build the tooth, and it's the product allowing to build. Then when they put the light on, it starts to dry and cure, and then it will accelerate. Okay, it starts to set over in place, and it starts to harden. Curing takes longer than drying. This is also why we have the education component where we ask the clients not to do anything to their lashes for at least 24 to 48 hours. You're going to wash your face, you're going to wash around it, don't get them wet, don't brush them, just continue to let them cure. This is what that time is for. It says lash technicians should remind clients to not allow their lashes to get wet during the curing process. So at least 48 hours, you know, it's going to be dry, good enough for them to walk out. But at least for the first 48 hours, don't pick at it, don't touch it, don't move it, don't wash it, don't try to add any makeup. It is still in the curing process. The center is not completely set yet. Also, they have a product called filler, okay? And they will use the filling product to speed up the curing process. And so if your product line that you're using includes filler, that is what we use to help speed up the process, okay? It said curing takes longer than drying, typically a full day to do so. Lash extension should remind clients to not allow their lashes to get wet until the curing process is complete. The center of where those two lashes were attached is completely cured, okay? There are tools to assist the process. You have nano misters and nebulizers, which are used to mist applied extensions. And this is what a nano mister is. So it's now we're going to look at controlling the humidity. Okay, controlling the humidity, and we have high, you have low, and you just have different types of humidity. And a lot of people look at it as the using a fan, not a humidifier. So let's just check it out. It says humidity and temperature are important factors in drying time of lash extensions. It helps accelerate. Okay, humidity, the amount of moisture present in the air, affects how quickly the cyanolate, that main ingredient in the adhesive, cures. All right, so you have these different things that will help eliminate the moisture in the air that will cause the adhesive to harden faster. Okay, causing the drying time to be a little faster. Let's look at high humidity. So adhesive cures too quickly from the high amount of moisture in the air can cause the adhesive drop used during the service to dry before application. So before you even the working in and putting it where it's supposed to go, if it's too much humidity, it is going to dry. Okay? There's too much moisture in the air, it is going to pull that moisture and it's going to go ahead and start to harden. And because it may harden in different areas and not from the outside in, it could cause the extension to be off balance and poor retention, which means they're on, they feel like they dry, but they may come off early. Okay. Low humidity and adhesive cures too slowly. So this is also why we use the fan and the nano misters, just to kind of keep it a balance around the area that a person is actually doing the lashes. Once we put them on, you want them to dry, and it just takes a lot of the moisture out of the air by using the little fan. Everything you do, every tool you've had in your kit it has a purpose. Okay. A quick fix to low humidity when applying extensions is to use a nano mister or nebulizer to cure the adhesive. What you find a lot of people doing is using a fan, and it does the same thing, like a small fan that you would put up to your lash area. High temperature, adhesive becomes too thin and drying time lessens. High temperature, that's just like ice cream melting outside. Okay, it just becomes really thin. And so this is where we need controlled temperature, and also where the fan comes in place to cool off, not just what you're putting on the eyes, but also we have these little refrigerators. Okay. You can buy refrigerators to put some of your need to go. I know the estheticians have them. Put some of your creams and acid peels and some of your serums in that little refrigerator. But you can also have the little refrigerator present, especially if you're in a city or state that has a high humidity, like Florida, Arizona, Vegas, Las Vegas, so on and so on. Um, and so high humidity, it just breaks down. It makes that adhesive thin, but it also will break down those ingredients. And so continue shaking, trying to thicken it up. It just also would cause poor retention and then make it longer time for you to perform a service. Lower temperature becomes too thick and drying time lengthens. So lower temperature is starting to get a little cooler. So you don't need your room super cold. You're going to have to find that mix, that temperature that's going to work for you when you're going to be performing the services. Okay. And if it dries too fast and it's too cold in the room, you're going to get some clumping, and so it won't look as neat. So you're going to ensure ideal humidity. Hygrometer is a tool to measure humidity. You can literally know what your room, what the humidity is. Most of the time when we have apps, but you can literally know what the humidity is in your room. Dehumidifier, a device to reduce and maintain humidity levels, which means in your suite or salon or spa, you may have a dehumidifier just sitting over in the corner. It's one of the most important jobs. It has the job of making sure that humidity is balanced, not too high, not too low, but it also will assist on the curing of the adhesive from the natural lash and the artificial lash. Okay. A humidifier, a device to increase and maintain humidity levels. All right. Increase to maintain. So dehumidifier pulls, okay, and then humidifier is going to add. All right. And so a lot of times, a lot of us may have had these in our homes and not even know. The ideal humidity levels of the area you're working should be at a 70 degrees. That's key. That's going to be key for everybody. It should be at a 70 degrees. That should be your temperature. Okay. Clients should avoid hot and humid temperatures outside and inside buildings within 24 hours of eyelash extensions applied. That's going to be a cool tip, because that's going to be really crucial to them keeping their lashes on the longer time than some of your other clients. Okay. So clients are saying, I'm getting it done, then I'm going on vacation. You tell them, look, I need you out of the sun for 24 hours. Or you're going to go on vacation tomorrow. I probably should have did their lash yesterday. All right. That way they'll be already in a curing state before you're going on vacation. Examples are cooking over a stove or taking a hot bath. And so even those two, be very mindful. You have that steam that comes up. And so they should not be cooking over a hot stove for the first 24 hours. And they're not taking hot steam bath over the first 24 hours. Right? Okay, same thing would go with showers and things of that nature. Okay. Of course, a cool fan is always going to be best. Keep if you're in a vehicle, having a cool temperature in the vehicle is going to be cooling as well. You don't want to be in too hot of temperatures. It will cause poor retention on those lashes. Let's look at storage of those adhesives. And remember, the adhesive have chemical components, and the adhesives also should have what we call an SDS sheet, okay, a safety data sheet. Every product that you use on a client has an SDS sheet. That SDS sheet tells you all of the ingredients in that product. So please feel free to research the SDS sheet on any product that you're purchasing, especially from major labels. And then if you're purchasing some from a private label, tell them you need to SDS sheet attached because you need to understand the ingredients. You also need to understand how to store it. If it gets in somebody's eye, what do you do? What's the temperature to keep it on the shelf? What's the shelf life of it? Okay. What it can be mixed with, what it cannot be mixed with. And so that's the SDS sheet. So even though naturally we may put it on the shelf, we got to do a little bit more thinking, go a little bit more deeper as far as because you will have one day you'll have some instances that happen and need to know exactly what to do. Now, one of the key components is going to be shelf life. Shelf life for your adhesive is going to be 4 to 5 weeks. And so if you're saying, 4 to 5 weeks, I had this on the shelf, maybe like 2 months, that's about 8 to 9 weeks. When you open up, it may be clumpy, it started to polymerize inside of the bottle. It's like the ingredients are on a timer. All right. And so this is not like any other product or skincare product that just sits on the shelf and has a longer shelf life. It's going to sit on the shelf, but also at the same time, it's going to be the ingredients are going to be on a timer. And after they've hit that mark, they're going to start this hardening process inside of the container. And so you're not going to get a lot of use out of it. It says always check the manufacturer storage requirements for chemical products. What can it be mixed with? What can it not be mixed with? You need to know the storage because 9 times out of 10, it can be flammable as well. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. You're looking at our temporary eyelash adhesive. What has been popular, nothing new comes up under the sun. Um, Many lash techs are now starting to do clusters. Clusters, we used to call them individuals and things like that back in the day, but it is something that has come back around. But here's what we need to know about them. Temporary eyelashes, such as your strips or your clusters, they require your latex-based adhesive. All right, so that adhesive that they're putting here, latex-based. Everybody is not going to be able to use latex glue because you have individuals. I'm allergic to latex, so nobody can touch me with latex gloves on. Especially around my face, it's gonna itch, gonna irritate. I can't do it. Okay. Some clients may be allergic to this, and so you have to be very careful. So even if you're offering this, it won't be something that you can offer to all clients. You also cannot use your lash extension adhesion on these types of lashes. All right. Two total different chemical makeups. They're not built to be together. And if you try to, you're just going to be really wasting some good money. It says, when in doubt, give the client an allergy test. And this is what I was saying too. Behind the ear, you put some behind the ear. You can put it in the fold of the elbow or in the back of the knee. If a person starts to irritate, it gets red, it gets itchy, you cannot use that product on the client. Okay. That even their skin that area can start to swell. So you're not going to be able to use it. Okay. It said alternatively attach a single eyelash, and then you can also test it by just putting one on there just to see how well your client does. If it irritates them, gotta go. Not gonna be able to do it. It says never apply temporary strips, clusters, or individual lashes with eyelash extension adhesive. So I just stated that the temporary is not supposed to be used with lash extension adhesive. Okay, especially because there's so many different chemical makeup, and a lot of times it does not mix with the material that the lashes are made up of, and sometimes the lashes can melt. All right, the right temperature, right ingredient, the lashes can melt. Okay, temporary lashes are meant to be removed after hours of wear, not weeks. And so, whereas one adhesive allows weeks of wear, the other one should be daily. You know, should be you can take it off and put those strips on daily. And if you're wearing clusters, that probably doesn't last. Somebody may have used too much, but it probably won't last longer than a week. Okay. How long does it take for adhesive to cure? How often should you change out your adhesive drop? And what effect does high humidity have on adhesives? Those are going to be our three questions that you need to be able to answer, review yourself. And as we begin to move on, we'll make those questions part of our state board prep. Now looking at the implements that you're going to be using, you're going to use two types of implements. Okay. Those implements you'll find out tomorrow are going to be multi-use versus single use. Multi-use means I'm going to wash this in soap and water. I'm going to set it in my disinfectant. I'm going to rinse it, and then I'm going to use it again. The single use, I can only use this one time on one person, and then I have to throw it away, never to be used again. So there's two separate implements. One is your handy dandy. You're going to use them. You just got to clean them. They're mostly metal. And then there's a single use. Single use like wipes, Q-tips, things of that nature. You're not going to use them again. So they cannot be used on a client again. When we prep for state board, you're going to have to add the practical. You got to set out a bag for single use and a bag for multi-use. And a part of your state board practical, there they want to see, do you know where to put the single use items? Do you know where to put the multi-use items? Okay. Single use versus multi-use. Starting with the multi-use, of course, the example is going to be tweezers. Okay. You can have stainless steel tweezers and you got titanium tweezers. Most of the time, individuals are using stainless steel. Okay. Titanium is going to be a little heavier, cost a little more. Many people will have a benefit to using titanium because they know it wouldn't be an additional metal added to it. And so, especially if you're using any kind of electrotherapy and things of that nature, you probably want to use some of the high ends when it comes to metal components of your instruments. Stainless steel is just average. It has more resistance to rust, whereas titanium is heavier. It is more protection. You're not going to see it rust. Okay. And rust could happen on any items, but you're probably not going to see rust on titanium. Titanium, you are going to pay more for, period. Okay. It's a stronger weight, a heavier weight, and a heavier element. And where stainless steel may be on your average, okay, maybe on your average tweezers that you see, you'll have to, based on what you're removing and how you use it, is which ones you would choose for you. Most people will have stainless steel just for just regular services, and then they'll pull that titanium out for they're really trying to go to work. So you do have people that have more or less expensive set of tweezers, and then a very expensive set of tweezers. We're looking at different types of tweezers. And this is where it pulls up on Stay Board where it talks about your implements. So just knowing the difference between the tweezers. That's what I want you guys to focus on. Knowing the difference between the tweezers. All right. You have the boot tip tweezer or L-shaped tweezer. Okay. Shapely angled curved tip, and it's mainly used for volume and mega volume. All right. And so if your clients are getting um, a lot of weight in their lashes, this is the one you're going to use. If they're getting classic, minimized weight, this is not what you're going to use. The curved tweezer had a gentle curved tip and typically used for isolation as well as precision placement. Now, this could be one of your starters because you can use it definitely in your classics and then you'll just continue to grow with it. Okay. And it's great for isolation. Your straight tweezers, straight, okay, are narrow, long, ending in a tapered point, and are ideal for picking up and placing the lash extensions. Most of the time, you will have your curved tweezer and your straight tweezers is what people normally work with, okay? Your straight tweezer and your curved tweezer is what individuals normally work with. Let me see. And then you have your slant tweezers used for eyebrow shaping. Okay. The tip is blunt and have a slight angle. Sometimes you can get this really good. It grips well. And I like the shape of it, the slightness of it, because it helps you go in there and shape that eyebrow. All right. So slant tweezers are great for brows. You can also use them to apply your strip lashes as well. Round tweezers, okay, ideal for safety, removing tape and iPads after service. So there's a series of tweezers that you guys can use. I would recommend getting all 5 of them, okay, and you know now when to use them. Round tweezers for removing tape and iPads. Slant tweezers are great for the brows and putting on your temporary lashes. Your straight tweezers are great for placing the lash extensions and picking them up. Curved tweezers are great for isolation. And then you have your boot tip tweezer. Okay. They're great for helping you create value. All right. Helping you create value. So absolutely amazing. Okay, it says prolong the life of the tweezers, remove any adhesives. So you got to make sure that you keep those tweezers good and clean, along with just having quality product. Is making sure you have the tweezers as well because they're going to be the ones to do a lot of the work. They're going to pick up and they're going to drop in place, pick up, drop in place. And we just discussed 5 different tweezers that you guys need to make sure that you hone in on. Here's your eyelash separation tool. Even though we have the curved tweezer as a separation tool, that's what most of individuals use. We do have to talk about the eyelash separation tool. It's used during an eyelash lifting, perming service. So we would normally use this on our natural lashes. And this is where we put the chemical component on the eyebrows. And we would lift the natural eyebrows up to cause the eyebrows to be more fullness. And so this is the tweezer that would assist us with that. Okay, so it's used in a perming lifting service of the eyebrows. Cool beans. Okay. We've been doing some brow lamination and we're gonna do some brow lifting tomorrow. So we were doing a little things. We've been coming together on a few little things. So we definitely got to stay for a prep, but we are gonna do that brow lift on tomorrow and get a couple of students to kind of just also start to execute once they learn how to do it. You have your trimming scissors and a few things we're going to review. Then we're going to head on. The trimming scissors are used to trim iPads if needed, used to cut medical tape to place over lower lashes, and can be used to open product packaging easily. The trimming scissors, they also call them stork, S-T-O-R-K, shears. Tomorrow night, I hope to show you the difference between the two, trimming scissors and then stork shears. They're also used to trim the eyebrows. They're also used to trim the eyebrows. You have your lash towel or your lash palette. Okay. It can be made of glass or crystal or acrylic. What happens, you may put your adhesive on there as well, and it keeps it cool. And then also you can put your lashes on there just to help divide and give you a little bit more organization. Your jade stone or your crystal help keeps your adhesives cool and so they don't dry out really fastly. So using that jade stone, the mini fan, nano mister, humidifier, all of those are great components. It's going to assist in the drying and the balancing of the drying and curing process of the lashes. The mirrors are great, especially for those individuals that want to continue to see what they're doing. So you're working from one side, but you may use a dental mirror so you're able to see how well the lashes are coming together. Okay. It says a hand mirror is used to show the client the finished look, but that smaller mirror is used to help you to stay, balanced, to make sure you're working it out well, you're going in the right direction. Silicone eyelash lifting shields and rod, that's going to be new for you guys. This is great because many individuals would not get lash extensions. All right. So um, this is the lifting shield and rod. So what you'll do, you'll place this rubber component here over the lid, and then we'll take product and we will put it on the lid and we will push the hair up with that separation tool. We'll push the hair up and we'll put the product on there just like the lamination, and we'll come back white, assess, apply the neutralizer. So it's almost like same product as the lamination, but instead of going straight, you're gonna go for curve. Okay. And that's an easy process, easy peasy for clients. And it's great for those clients that cannot get lashes, can't stand nobody to do anything to their eyes. Your little excuse me, your shields come in different sizes. So you can have tight lashes. It's just like rollers, tight lashes, medium lashes, or large. Okay. You can also reshape the lashes. And these are called silicone eyelash lifting shields. So it's an alternative for eyelashes, especially putting on artificial eyelashes. And if they don't want to wear the mascara, they just want their own lashes lifted. This may be great for clients who have straight lashes, very minimum curl. And so that's something that you guys can put on your menu as well, that you do lash lift. Okay. Tomorrow we will pick up and talk about single-use implements. It's going to be your gloves, your headbands, your iPads, your medical tape, mascara, any kind of swabs, any kind of cotton material that you use on the face, our eyes, our eyebrows, eyelashes. All of that is considered single use. All right. Or what we call disposable. They go in the trash. And then when it comes down to even adhesive stickers, eyelash cleaning brushes, all of these, the rings, anything that's plastic and disposable can only be used one time. Okay. Same thing goes for those. This This shield can be reused, but this pad cannot. This Y shape, okay, can be reused if you want, but normally every time you buy an application, it comes with a Y shape. It is considered disposable. It's the same as the separation tool, but just a little smaller. Okay. Looking at the equipment, and we'll talk more about equipment. If you're going to prepare to set up, you're going to need a hydraulic chair or massage table. You'll need a technician's chair, so it's like a stool, a cart where you can put your lashes on, or a trolley, an adjustable light, so a ring light or some kind of light from the steamer, an autoclave where you can clean and disinfect your implements, and then a trash container. So even the components of equipment is very simple. And once you have these items, it's time to go to work. Okay. It says, what's the difference between single use implements and multi use implements? Everybody needs to know that single use implements, you only use them one time. You cannot clean them, you cannot reuse them. Multi use items are items that you can wash with soap and water and you can reuse them. Okay. Which tweezers are best for creating and picking up lash fans and why? All right. These are going to be your straight tips. All right. Straight tips. And when you talk about the fans, it's going to be easy for you to close. Also, the boot tip is going to be good for those, the ones that create volume. They're going to be good for those as well. And our eyelash cleaning brushes, single or multi-use. The eyelash cleaning brushes. Once you use them on one client, that's it. You can't use them anymore. When we look at eyelash extensions, we'll next talk about continued products and ingredients and eyelash extension application. That's actually a part of your exam. So next Tuesday, we will talk about eyelash extension application. That's chapter 6. And next Tuesday, we will be more in depth on State Board Prep after we start the review this week. So I'm super excited about that. Remember, I don't want you guys to super stress. You only got 40 to 45 questions, and they give you an hour to take it. And we're going to go through each portion of it, whether you're aesthetics or Cosmo or Lash. We're going to go through each portion of it so you'll have considerable study material and you'll be ready to go test. So we'll pick up on types of eyelash extensions, which should be really cool. Mink, faux mink, silk, synthetic, things of that nature. And I think once you learn the difference between something we've had before, but once we learn the difference between the types of lash extensions, we'll also know what adhesives we should be using with each kind. And it's good to start making it up now and even putting in your supply kit that I need to make sure I have adhesive for sensitive eyes and sensitive skin. And then I have adhesive for those individuals that are okay with the fast dry. All right. I need to also make sure I control the temperatures. So it's not too cold in the room where it starts to clump up and become sticky. And it's not too hot in the room where it does not hold retention. Okay. And takes a longer time to hold on to. Y'all got any questions for me tonight? We just did a nice review. A very nice review. Okay. And I think it was chapter 5 for lashes. Very nice review. We're prepping you guys for the state board. And so I can't wait till the time comes where it's time for you to roll. Remember, for everybody, graduation is on the 24th. So my lash people, my Cosmo people, my aesthetics people, this is the last graduation for the year. We won't have another graduation to June. Okay. So this is a graduation for everybody. Tonight, I am going to send everybody updates about graduation. If you have not been in the group, you have not added, ordered your cap and gown, it's only $20. There is, with my aesthetics mainly, you guys need to do a $30 dues, because what's going to happen, you have your stalls we have to purchase, and then aesthetics, you get the white coats and with your name embroidered on it. Okay, so that goes, your dues goes towards that. But everybody needs to make sure they have their black cap and gown. I'm going to send everybody the links, okay, just to make sure. The venue holds about 150 people, and so invite, but you can't have 100 people come because it only holds 150 people. So it's on a Saturday on the 24th. We're going to start at 3 o'clock, because 3 o'clock is the white coat ceremony for aesthetics, and then 4 o'clock is going to be the actual graduation. Okay, so I want to make sure everybody is there. Everybody on the line tonight is graduating, whether you choose to do it now or you choose to do it in June. By June, you'll be off to the next big thing. You should be licensed. My goal is to have y'all licensed by the end of the year, and that's everybody. Okay, so let's pick back up tomorrow. If you're not going to be in the building, I'm going to still send you a state board prep study guide. I want you to do it, and I want you to send it back to me as soon as possible. So, because we're going to try to grade it tomorrow in real time. Okay. Until next time, y'all have a blessed and amazing day. I'm super best and amazing evening. Excited to have y'all on. And when we come back on, we're gonna be talking about types of eyelash extensions and how what parts relate to the State Board Prep for Lash Specialty for Tennessee. Y'all be blessed.
You as well. Thank you.